A Wednesday night in Paris, the second week of the second Grand Slam of the year, and things are going along very nicely indeed. Good evening and welcome to Roland-Garros. It's just gone 8 o'clock in the evening local time. So much has gone on. We've got so much to get through and hear for you a little of what we have coming up on tonight's show. Jasmine Paolini stuns the world number 4 to reach a first Grand Slam semi-final, while 17-year-old Mira Andreeva shocks the world number 2, and Zverev against de Minaur will be under the lights in this evening's night session. I think there's a few shockwaves still being felt around Roland-Garros. We'll get to all the action from today. But there is still tennis taking place. You can see it's a little bit windy if you look at my hair, but the sun is shining. The clouds have cleared. And in terms of the tennis that's being played, we do have a mixed doubles final that is at 12 o'clock tomorrow on Philippe Chatrier, which meant that the matches had to be up to date. Now, we know already through to that final is Desiree Kravchuk and Neil Skupski, the 4th seeds. Now, Laura Siegemund and Edouard Roger Vasselin, this is the second match they have played today. They've got the advantage in the third, and they're looking to book their place. And whoever goes through needs to rest, relax, and recover pretty quickly, because, as I mentioned, a midday start for that mixed doubles final on Philippe Chatrier tomorrow. So we're going to keep across this match for the course of the show, where we're with you this evening. There you go, a good moment to be with it. And just to let you know that Mira Andreeva, very shortly, she's going to be heading back out on court for her women's doubles match alongside her partner Vera Zvonareva. What a day she is having. Now, I'm delighted this evening that I'm joined in the studio by former world number 1, multiple Grand Slam champion Lindsay Davenport. Lindsay, thank you so much for being with us. How are you?
I'm doing great. That was after a tough first week. I think for everybody here at Roland-Garros, so thrilled to see what's transpired this second week, to see the level of play all across the grounds, as you were saying, even mixed doubles. But I can't believe Mira still has to go out there tonight. That's crazy, right? Right before a Grand Slam singles semi.
And we had Jasmine Paolini winning her doubles earlier today, so everything is happening. And for you, I'm wondering how the juggle goes, because you've got media commitments, you've got the Legends tournament, and your son, I may have left something out, but your son's in the junior competition.
It's a busy tournament, but honestly, it's been great. Never loved playing here as a player. I wasn't very good on clay, but to come back now and see how much this tournament's changed, it's so exciting to be a part of all the majors, and certainly Roland-Garros at the top of the list. The Legends, we'll see how that goes. I'm like, my husband told me the other day, he's like, babe, you can't do this. I can't let you go out there. Like, I'm so bad. Yeah, exactly. And then my son, it's been really fun to have him here as well, still alive in the doubles, and to watch his friends compete as well. So really been a fun tournament.
Well, we've got the match point.
Oh my goodness.
We got the match point
Luckily,
for you
I was
from a little bit earlier.
I didn't have to suffer through this. And, partner hits a winner return. How great is that?
How are you as a mum watching on?
Pretty good for the most part.
Good.
Mary Jo Fernandez is one of my best friends. Her son she went through this with her son a couple of years ago. But it's tough. It means the world to them. But he's a good kid. We have a lot of fun with him. So I wasn't watching because I was in the booth for the women's semi, so I was like peeking at the score occasionally. So happy that they won.
And so we go. We thought we'd show you the match point.
Thank you.
They are the 4th seeds, and they move on in the competition. Now, you mentioned this wasn't one of your favorite Grand Slams. You touched on your best friend, Mary Jo Fernandez. You won the doubles here in '96. But 2 years later, you did reach the semi-finals, which is still some accomplishment at a Grand Slam, especially at an event where you're not comfortable.
I'm going to kill you guys. It was, and you know, I wish I could go back to my 22-year-old self, but at this time in my career, I hadn't won a major yet, and certainly playing on red clay and against a rancher who had won here so often, I really didn't think it was possible. Maybe that would have changed if I had made a run maybe a little bit later in my career. I reached a quarterfinal and lost to Graf in a really tough match in '99. But it took me a while to get that belief. I really marvel at someone like Andreeva at 17, who is into a semifinal already, and she's fairly composed out there for a teenager. It took me into my almost, early to mid-20s to really feel like I could achieve what I was capable of.
See, we thought this would be a nice surprise for you, not a shock.
You guys are you're killing me here.
But it's amazing when you talk about the clay so often, it's about having the confidence and having the belief that you can actually play on the surface.
for every player, or the belief that you can beat the player that's on the other side of the net. And growing up in California, there are no clay courts there. So I really didn't step on a clay court till I was maybe 14 or 15 years old. I never learned really the nuances of sliding and how to get in and out of a corner. And then you started playing players that were really good on it. So it just was never kind of in my belief process. When I'd go to grass, I would think, well, no one else grew up on grass, so I'm going to be okay out here on this surface. But, I look back, I wish I could have been a more confident player, a more confident teenager. Just wasn't in my DNA, so it took me a long time. But I look back with a lot of pride on my career, and most importantly, I look at how I turned out. I feel like the sport can be really tough on some players, on some of the people involved, and I feel like I'm in like a good spot, and like my kids are doing okay, and like I'm super happy in life. So I'm grateful for the whole journey.
And just to say, we've got no more surprises
Okay,
for you.
perfect.
Is that okay?
Okay, yeah. No, I don't want to talk about myself anymore.
Okay, so Lindsay is going to relax now. Now, as you know, we like to follow the night session players. Now, this is the final night session of this year's championship. It features Sasha Zverev and it features Alex de Minaur. Now, they've met each other a fair few times, and you know, these days there are cameras absolutely everywhere. We like to give you exact timings. So 5:49, Alex de Minaur arrived, and then 4:23. Is that about right for a night match at 8:30, would you say?
You know, every player's different how early they like to arrive. I was always on the early side. I never liked to be stressed. I never liked to kind of cut it close at all. But that's about right. Especially when you're at this stage of a Grand Slam. And for especially the men that have spent so much time on court with 3 out of 5 sets. Zverev's had a couple of 5-setters as well. It's more about just getting your body ready, less about how many tennis balls do you hit in the warm-up.
Lorenzo Musetti arrived at 9:30 for his night match, and the only thing I could think of was he became a dad in March, and maybe he needed a bit of a break.
9:30 in the morning?
Yeah, 9:30 in the morning.
Goodness, yeah.
So maybe because he's got a young baby in the house.
He's trying to escape something, yeah.
He was just coming to work for a bit of peace and quiet.
Exactly.
That could have been the answer, and we're going to follow them in the gym and training and out onto court throughout the course of the show. But we've touched on it briefly. It was the women's quarterfinals today to lock in those semi-finals, and now it's time to look back on the day's action. Now, Lindsay, whoever says that they predicted the winners of these 2 quarterfinals at the start of the day is lying.
Yeah, I really thought we were headed towards semifinals of really the top 4 and the 4 players that have established their games. But Jasmine Paolini was a revelation for the majority of this match. And if you follow tennis week in and week out, you know how good she is. But you never know how a player is going to play and respond in the biggest match of their career. It was awesome to see her in the beginning of the match. All the energy going after her shots, going after her forehand, and being able to handle the power of Elena as well. That's not easy to do. And she looked so comfortable for about a set and a half. And then reality crept in a little bit at the end of the second.
She won Most Improved Player of the Year last year. This year, she's the only WTA player to have won a 1,000 singles in Dubai, and then she picked up the doubles with Sara Rani and Rome, and they're still going in the doubles here. It was the perfect start that she got off to. Rybakina, we know she pulled out of Rome because she's got the health issues. She says she is a little bit undercooked, but she's got such a powerful game, but she just kept being hounded down by Paolini.
Yeah, and just when you thought that Rybakina had the upper hand and was the top player kind of establishing herself, got out of danger. I mean, Paolini was up a set 4-3, 40-15. Lost that second set, and Rybakina started to feel more comfortable in the third. But this right when Paolini then picked up her game again late in the third set, and really wonderful moments. I love when a player wins the biggest match for them, and it was awesome to see Paolini celebrate. What a moment for her.
5 consecutive wins on clay for the first time in her career. It's the first Grand Slam semi-final. And next week, she's going to make her debut as a top 10 player.
It's amazing. And she's worked so hard for that. I love that you said also alive in the doubles. She's just going out there right now, enjoying the moment, playing. And to handle that kind of pressure was a phenomenal accomplishment.
And her first time on Philippe Chatrier.
It's amazing. It's like one of the biggest courts. There's so much space. She was out hitting Rybakina early on with her own forehand, and then got some help with some unforced errors.
Incredible stuff. Jasmine Paolini through to her first Grand Slam semi-final. Now we're going to hear from her shortly speaking on court, but let's start with Lena Rybakina and what she had to say when she came into press.
I think just to, try to stay there every point, to forget what happened in the second set, because, it can happen, it's tennis, so it's normal. But yeah, I managed to come back and to stay there, to stay focused, even if I get the break 2 times again, but it's okay. I just, accept that and fight again, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for cheering for me. Merci beaucoup. It's my first time, was my first time playing in this beautiful court. It's a pleasure, I think. It's really a privilege, and I'm happy that I got the win in my first match here, because this is one of the best courts, I think, in tennis. Yes, for sure.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not the greatest day, and she played really well. She started much better. She was moving good. I started a bit slow, and she was aggressive from the first ball. And then I was just trying to find my game, which was always like I was step back, and I was trying to fight through. But in the end, yeah, as you say, it's not the greatest day in the office, and I was close, but she won, and in the end, I'm just, I need to focus now on the grass season.
Yeah, really tough for Rybakina, having pulled out of Rome with those health issues. She was defending champion there. Now, I touched on the fact there are cameras everywhere here. They've got this wonderful camera in the corridor where the players come down the stairs, they meet their team, and this was just that smile could sort of light up 1,000 rooms.
Oh, this is the moment that I love to see. It's so fantastic. She's got to find her coach. Where's Renzo?
She's still trying to find the coach. Surely he should have been the first one there.
Probably went to go calm his own nerves. It's stressful.
Right, there she found him. We're in the gym. I feel like we're just sort of following her. Is she going to find the coach? Well, there's Aryna Sabalenka.
No.
She didn't find a coach. This is like to be continued. She did not find the coach. And we're going to be seeing more of Aryna Sabalenka very shortly. But we have news to bring you from the mixed doubles. I mentioned that Ziri Kravchuk and Neil Skupski, the 4 seeds, they are through to the final tomorrow. And here we go. This is who they're going to be facing. Laura Siegemund and Edouard Roger Vasselin. This is the second match they've played today. They can celebrate. They got to get off court. They got to get recovered. They got to go again, because that is midday on Philippe Chatrian. We'll have commentary of that one on Radio Roland-Garros for you. So congratulations to them, the tennis. And I should say that the Tsitsipas brothers, they also got through today, and they've reached the quarterfinals of the men's doubles. And we're awaiting Mira Andreeva to come out for her women's doubles match. There is still so much going on. But to the second match that involved the 17-year-old Mira Andreeva taking on the world number 2 in Aryna Sabalenka. And we should say right from the outset that Sabalenka, there was definitely something troubling her.
Yeah, it was so interesting. Sabalenka got up early at 2-love and then hit a couple of double faults, and you could see the first real sign of stress. She started yelling at her camp. Then she kind of settled down a little bit, and then she was in physical distress, and we weren't sure what it was. She ended up calling the doctor and the trainer a couple of different times. But you also have to credit Andreeva, who stayed very focused. She's a very solid player. She's giving a lot of variety, but there was a lot of drama on the side of the court of Sabalenka, and she just never was really able to get it all together.
Yeah, this was the first medical timeout she had, and at the same time as the physio came out, she actually asked the doctor to come out. You saw the tablets, and at that point you thought, and I have heard actually there might be a few players who are experiencing a few tummy bugs at the moment. It cannot feel nice to feel like that out there, but she has never retired in a competitive match.
And then what you thought, like when she got it together to win the first set, because all of a sudden the drama left for about the last 15 minutes of that first set. She really focused on the task at hand. I was able to get the first set, and I really thought that she had enough in her to get through this match. It was pretty remarkable in that first set. She was down 5-3, and then all of a sudden either the medication kicked in or that competitive spirit kicked in, able to get the first set. I was surprised in the second set she went back to bending over quite a bit. I know she wasn't feeling well, but I just thought she was going to make another strong push in that second set.
Yeah, she saw the medical team again in the second set, the second time she would have seen them. And you think for Mira Andreeva, 17 years of age, and this is the second time she saw the medical team, she had to come through the experience of Victoria Azarenka on the outside courts in the earlier round. She then faced Varvara Gracheva, so she had 99.9% of the crowd against her, willing her opponent to win. And now she's out on Philippe Chatrier against the second best player in the world, and she's not exactly sure what's going on with the second best player in the world.
It took a huge mental effort from the teenager, and just to be solid enough to get through with this, and that was the challenge. Made enough shots, she used her variety, and what a lob.
What a way to finish it off. And again, she won it. It wasn't a mistake from her opponent. She won it. The smile on her face up to her coach, Conchita Martinez, in the box. And she's spoken throughout the rounds about the effect that Conchita Martinez has been having on her. And largely it seems, because she's a sparky young thing, that Conchita Martinez has taught her control and to stay calm.
Well, did you see at some point in the match, she snapped at her mom, and her mom left the match. So she was definitely dealing with her own nerves, and you just constantly heard Conchi, it's okay, right here. Focus here, go after it. Conchita, one of my favorite people in the sport, an amazing woman, and just always calm. You know, and just really gives like a great message to Mira. She's been a great addition the last 3 months or so. And I love to see that payoff. She was so important to Muguruza that it's great to see it happening again here now for Mira.
Yeah, because you don't want to get rid of that fire. You just need to dull it down enough. So Mira Andreeva, the youngest Grand Slam semi-finalist, there she is, Conchita Martinez, since Martina Hingis in 1997. Wow, what a day and what a win for the 17-year-old who's going to be back out on Philippe Chatrier tomorrow. But first, let's get her thoughts, speaking on court after the win.
Honestly, I just, I don't know, I kind of see the game. I just play wherever I want. I don't even have a plan. So when I see... When I see an open space on the court, I try to play there, or if I think that maybe she will run there, I try to play behind her back or something like this. Yeah, me and my coach, we had a plan today, but again, I didn't remember anything during the match. So yeah, I just try to play as I feel, and that's it.
I like the little quotation marks she used. We had a plan, but I didn't remember much of it. Now, this links perfectly to our shot or moment of the day. Every day we bring you what we think is one of the best shots or moments from the day's play. And here is our choice for today.
Andreeva.
I think you'll all agree that that deserved to be the shot of the day. Now, with it only being minutes away, it's time to prepare you for the final night session of Roland-Garros 2024. What we have ahead of us this evening is a 10th meeting between the two. It's a second on clay. It's a first at a Grand Slam between Sasha Zverev and Alex de Minaur. And before we talk about it, here for you is a little bit more about the two men involved.
I think he's playing the best tennis of his life, for sure. I'm looking forward to a battle and probably a very difficult match.
It's one of my best slam results, so it looks like I've converted myself into a clay specialist.
It is an intriguing matchup between the two this evening. Let's start with Alex de Minaur. We'll follow his progress through the gym, through training, while we talk about him a little bit. And this was just to give everyone their timings. 2 minutes past 6, he was in the gym, and at 6:23, he'll get out onto the court. But when people talk about him and his improvements, they say it's just been little things to every aspect of his game that's making the difference.
That's the big thing with a lot of players. At the end of the year, at the end of a season, are you looking back, did I get better at what I wanted to get better at? And he is one of the hardest workers out there. Everybody who's ever been around him or worked with him or seen him practice always say he does not take a day off. He's very serious about his career and trying to get better. And it's taken a long time. I mean, it's been almost 4 years since he's been able to get back to a Grand Slam quarterfinal. It's taken a lot of hard work. The big question is his super fan here tonight?
You would hope so.
Yeah, but he's got to be here. That
Paul,
kid has done a great job this whole tournament of getting Alex through his matches. It's been one of the fun side stories for Alex if you follow him here. I was so impressed with how he played Medvedev and how he handled that. We'll see how he handles Chatrier. Certainly the first time on the court this year at the tournament. And Zverev has played most of his matches out there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, de Minaur said he might take Paul on tour with him every week of the season. I'm not sure how his parents, maybe his parents think that's a great idea. Right, Sasha Zverev, 4:53, he was in the gym. You're going to see him out training at 4 minutes past 5. And he was a number of people's pick to go deep in this tournament, coming off winning that title in Rome.
Yeah, he's just looked so calm and comfortable this season, and especially on clay. The movement seems back to normal after that devastating ankle injury a couple of years ago here at this tournament. I thought there might be some mental scar tissue when he had to play Rafa again out there. It wasn't part of the process at all for him. He obviously is handling so many things going on in his life, on court and off court. Doesn't seem to affect him at all.
And you just got a shot there of the tunnel. You saw Alex de Minaur as the lower ranked player. He'll be introduced out first. Sasha Zverev behind him. And there is a different feeling about these night sessions, and it'll be interesting to see which of the players can settle the quickest.
Yeah, it's different playing conditions. I mean, the players had to deal with cold. They had to deal with rain in the first week. Now we have sun at night. But there's no question this is one of the biggest matches of de Minaur's career. And Zverev's been here, done that. He's been further in a major, but a big test for Alex as he looks to try and make his mark in the majors.
Lindsay, thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your tournament. We're going to leave you this evening. Don't forget ball-by-ball commentary of the night session, final one of this tournament, over on Radio Roland-Garros right now. But we will leave you with the introductions of the players out onto court, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow night.
Disputer son deuxième quart de finale en Grand Chelem. Il est australien, voici Alex de Minaur. Et son